Come friend, now lend me an ear, for a tale of Victor the Weird. He went on an adventure with him, and himself, and also his mighty fine beard. Now gather round, I'll tell you about this mighty beast. He may look as human, as mere as you, friend, but soon your eyes will feast upon this marvelous creature with many body parts. His one shirt may fool you, but what if I told you his chest had 4 red hearts? One mouth but 1,000 voices, one mind and limited choices. 2 handsome dice, 2 handsome dice. The audience rejoices. He's going to play D&D with him, himself, and he. Those are his pronouns, it's really profound. It's time for D&Me, featuring Victor and Victor and Victor, and Victor and Victor and Victor, and Victor and Victor and Victor and Victor and Victor. One knows who knows how many repeats. So come and sit down in an empty seat. It's time for D&Me. 2 eyes, 4 cheeks, 2 souls on his feet, 2 hands for winning and foes to defeat, 1 tongue, 2 lips through which to speak, but just one but.
Hello, I'm Victor Rivera, and this is D&Me, where I play with myself. I play D&D with myself, and welcome. Hello, this is fun. Let me adjust this a little bit. Hi, thank you for being here for episode 11. I have a lot of stuff in D&D pre-show, so let's just go on into it. The new theme song was written and musicated and sung by Bradley Owens. You can find them at Bradley Owens. There's no .com yet. Bradley Owens, that's Bread L-E-Y. Nope. Okay, here's what it is. They are Bradley Owens, and their handle is at Bradley Ovens. It's the whole joke, Victor. Bradley, Bread L-E-Y, Ovens. Some people thought that it was me singing it, and that's very flattering, but no. I am not that talented at all. So, Toot Toot might do a cover of it, though, someday. But thank you, Bradley. Speaking of Bradley, they contribute music and art to one of my friends' stream called When Can We Play? And I wanted to offer them congratulations because tomorrow is the season finale of Blades in the Dark, which I played with them of. I'm tired. Oh, boy. I was part of Blades in the Dark for When Can We Play, and we had we pre-recorded our season finale, and then we're going to play it tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central Time, because they're in another time zone. So I wanted to offer congratulations to Edwin and Daddy and Paige and Jacob Skinner. That's why I got that from. We did it. We did Blades in the Dark, and Thingama's ending perfect. So that is 17 episodes of a tabletop role-playing game called Blades in the Dark by John Harper. It's very cool. Produced by Evil Hat Productions. And so that's tomorrow, Thursday, October 14th, so check that out. Also, I ding-dong published my podcast. So the first 4 episodes are up now. You can find them at anchor.fm, and which is like .com, but it's .fm because of radio stuff. And Spotify playlists, Spotify podcasts, Apple podcasts. And where can you find all of that in one accessible link? Boop, right there. Linktree. So it's linktr.ee/DnMeAdventures. DnMeAdventures, and like gnome. So podcast, and then also there you can find my link to my Redbubble, because I posted a little, the D&Me logo. Well, I made a Halloween version of it, so it's a little pumpkin. So you can get that in like stickers and coasters and stuff. So check that out. Also, Redbubble, it's very cute. Last episode, I mentioned that I have my own handwriting font, and I looked up the website for that, and it's called Calligrapher, CALLIGRAPHR.com. So it's Calligrapher, but not the E at the end. So check that out. Also, the past episode I didn't do this, but D&, dedication, or D to people who worked on Waterdeep Dragon Heist, is back. Last time I thanked producer Stan! And interior cartographer Dyson Logos. And today I wanted to throw out 3 names. The editor Scott Fitzgerald Gray liked one of my tweets. Thank you, Scott. The gentleman who made the poster map, which I'll flurl up in a second, Jason Engel, liked one of my tweets. Thank you, Jason. And interior illustrator Siddharth Chaturvedi. Nailed it! That one felt good. Siddharth Chaturvedi. And you can find he liked one of my tweets as well. So thank you, Scott, Jason, and Siddharth. You can find them at Scott F. Gray, at J_A_E1, that's Jason, and then at S Chaturvedi. So again, thank you, Scott, Jason, and Siddharth. And then last night I also talked again to Ed Greenwood, who created the Forgotten Realms. We had some tweets back and forth last night because I had a question, and he was delightful and answered it. And then I sent an email to Elliot Zastro again. So networking, baby. D&Me. D&We. So that's really cool. I have 2 quick D&, revisions. Last episode, I kept saying the Crimson Convex, where when I introduced it, it was the Convex Crimson, because I'm dyslexic and I didn't remember. So, it's both. When you want to go to Corral Golden or Robin Red, you can go on down to. So it's both. Because that is 3 brain cells that I need for other things. So, yes, it's both. And then I also said that it's like 50 blocks to go from one end of the Waterdeep to the other. And then I did a lot of reading this past week. So my scale was a little bit off. So instead of 50 blocks, 50, it was more like 9. But, when you look at the fantastic poster map made by Jason Engel, J_A_E1, if you don't think, I just didn't think, so 9. And then here also, I did some D&, research. So, Victor, in the last episode, what was your question again? That's some Star Wars blue milk shit going on. Straight from the teat of those. I don't like that I said that. But from the sea things? I don't know what they're called. So, them sea cow things are called Thala Sirens. So, bop. That is, remember from The Last Jedi, the Thala Siren. It's a little unpleasant to look at, huh? So, the puppet is actually 18 feet tall. They had to fly it in to set on a helicopter, and it took 7 people to puppeteer it, which is absolutely bonkers. I love stuff like this. Well, I love puppeteering because, again, it is not great to look at. Let me just go ahead and get those out of the way. Great. So moving on. What the podcast isn't seeing right now is that I'm playing a very funny joke on my Twitch and YouTube audience, where I had the Thala Siren, and now I just, that's too much. That's too much. That's way too much. Oh, what was that? Oh, okay. I did wrong click. Where I had oh dear, I'm tired. Oh no. Oh boy. You know what, podcast? I'm not gonna tell you what that was. I'm leaving this in, but that's very funny. All right, so D&, recap. Last episode, for episode 10, which was called Return Reward, my boys finished up with dealing with the Intellect Devourer and the remnants of the Xanathar Guild hideout in the sewers. Then they came up, they cleaned themselves off with precipitation on the way back to the Yawning Portal with the newfound Floon and Rainier Neverember. And they walked back, they met up with Volo, who was worried and had been, spending all day drinking himself in anxiety. And as a reward, then Volo, who does not have a lot of money, offered them the deed to a place up in the Castle Ward? All right, I'll take out the map because I don't remember. Boy, howdy. North Ward. And then they relaxed the deed to a place up in the North Ward, and they relaxed. They spent the evening drinking and eating. Tipsy climbed up the 3 stories of the Yawning Portal and jumped onto a rope, and it was very scary and precarious. Then also Toot Toot wanted to check out the bard situation, and he met 3 Strings, a human bard who didn't play very well, except he did a little bit. And then Toot Toot played the following song. Nope, Toot Toot's voice. My, at Waterdeep. Hold on. Oh, dear. Okay. My, at Waterdeep Volo gave us a mission. Oh, yeah. And I have met Floon and Rainier in a quite similar way. The history check in my stats is telling me where it's at. Waterdeep. A troll was defeated, we won the war. Waterdeep. Tipsy wanted to drink some more. Waterdeep. What a fine city, and it is cold. Waterdeep. The food and the song never get old. Wah, 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 Waterdeep. Finally getting used to my Waterdeep. So that's the better Waterloo song that I owed y'all. So he sang that, and then a parody on the Portal song from the Portal games called Still Alive, which I did not do for y'all. And then the night was winding down, and that's where we left off. So, as the night winds down, then Tutu gets off the stage. He gathers up the small little bag of coin that was generously given of tips when people rushed up to the stage to congratulate him and say how great it was to hear an actual bard playing. And on the way to the back to the table, then people come up to him and like pat his back and say, "Wow, that was amazing!" And because he rolled a natural 20 last time as one of his 2 performance checks. And even though it was kind of winding down the energy of the tavern, then now it's cranking back up, and like someone now went up and is just playing an instrumental like harp or something, but it's like a bouncy tune, and he's walking back, and then he actually passes his table with all the boys who just watch him go past and like thumbs up, and like Tipsy's like, and Toot Toot actually goes up to the bar, and Durnan finishes up with someone, and then he looks at Toot Toot coming up, and then Toot Toot comes and puts a small stack of gold and silver on top, and then he pushes it towards Durnan, and Durnan looks at it and goes, "Well, what can I get you?" And then Toot Toot goes, "Oh no, this is this is for you and Bonnie and whoever else is working behind the scenes. This is." Whenever I perform, I always make sure to tip you, because you are the real hard workers here. I just sang 2 songs. And Durnan, like, his eyebrows are raised, and it's taking him it normally takes him a minute to like suss out the fewest amount of words he can say, but he looks at the gold and looks up at Toot Toot. "Wow. and he like is at a loss of words, and he kind of smiles to himself, and he goes, "That's very generous. You don't work for us yet, so here's what I'm gonna do." And then he grabs the gold and then he hides it underneath the bar, and he goes, "That is for Bonnie tonight, and then we'll work out a plan, you and I, for future performances, if you want." And then Toot Toot, he always loves hearing that, but he sees that he cut through Durnan's hard exterior, and Toot Toot feels very good with himself at this, and he straightens up, and he feels 7.5 feet tall now, and he goes, "That sounds very nice, Durnan. Thank you. Yes, I think," and then he looks back to the table, "I think we'll have one last round, and this one will be on me as well." And then Durnan goes, Not this one. This one's on the house." And Toot Toot, just 7 feet and 8 inches tall, is how he's feeling right now. And he, like, grinning, showing all his ivory, his teeth. That's what I was trying to get at with that one. Just, he turns around and, like, kind of hop and skips, and then, which it's an elephant skipping in a tavern, so it kind of like jostles. You see one of the at the bar, like there's a dwarf on a stool, and as Toot Toot skips, then it onto the wooden planks underneath, and then the dwarf on the bar stool like vibrates like a foot to his left. But he makes it back to his table, and then like Rock, he sits down, and Rock pats him on the back and goes, "That was spectacular. I don't think I've heard you play music." "No, that's not true. You've healed me quite a few times, and others. So wow, that was absolutely incredible." And then he's patting the Toot Toot on the back, and then Tipsy like climbs back up on the table and goes, "Toot Toot, you have the voice of an angel. That was fabulous. Your voice is actually really, really amazing." And then he turns to Rock and goes, "Your voice is amazing." And turns to Onyx, "Your grunts are amazing." And then turns to Rainier and Floon and Volo, who's totally nodding off at this point. "All your voices are spectacular. Just really well done." And Volo, who does like the one last like head nod and then snap back up, he goes, "Oh, I think it is time for me to head out. I am very sleepy, but tomorrow we will visit the manor, the Troll Skull Manor, and if you want, it is yours. So until tomorrow." And then he stands up, and he starts heading towards the door. But he, like last night, he is a little, no, the other one's a little tipsy. "That's me." No, he has been day drinking very successfully. So instead of a straight path, then he like leans and meanders a bit, and Rainier kind of jumps up when seeing Volo like that, and he's like, "Hold on a second. Volo, wait just a minute, you boy. You lot, I am forever in your gratitude. Thank you. For finding Floon and rescuing myself. Here." And then he takes out his 2 silver ingots, which I have many notes to myself about. "Rainier has a silver ingot, don't let him believe it." And then Rainier takes out the silver ingots, put them on the table, and they are not like, well, I guess Onyx has been handling them a lot. So I was going to say that they were covered in like black soot, but some of the soot has been washed off because of the sewer water and a lot of fingerprints all over it. So he puts them like close to Onyx. And here are your silver ingots. Keep it a little under wraps, okay? Because we're still out in public. And then Onyx, and then he kind of, moves them closer to him on the table, and Rainier goes, This will not be the last time I see you all. So until next time, cheers. And then during all this, then Durnan came and gave everyone an additional round. So Rainier takes the rest of his fantasy PBR and finishes it off. And it's better than fantasy PBR. PBR was the tipsy cheap stuff. But this is like a nice beer. Like a pretty dang good beer. So because Durnan this is his round. So Rainier finishes it and goes, ooh, that's honestly better than the first couple, and then the next couple, and then anyways, cheers. Volo. And then he catches up with Volo, and then Floon also takes this time to exit, goes, thanks again so much. I will be back to drink a lot later, so thanks. And then he heads out, and all three of those NPCs get out. And then, because I don't want to go through like all the specifics, then my four boys, the main characters of D&MeAdventures, they finish up their drinks, then they go upstairs, they have a proper bath and bathe. Not all together. But I'm imagining, that Witcher situation of there is a prepared bath with your room cost if you want, where it's like a wooden half barrel that is big and you can see like the toes sticking out on one end, and then the clothes are being washed also. So they're all nice and clean boys by the end. And before going to bed, then in Onyx and Tipsy's room, then Tipsy takes out another of his bottles. Tipsy inventory. And the two littles are just passing it back and forth, taking swigs. All right, so I need to roll 2. Okay, so I roll a D10 to see how full it is. Waterdeep 6. Okay, so more than half full. And then I roll a D20 to see how good it is. A 17. Okay, so like a really smooth tequila. Oh, is that way too much? Yeah, I don't want them to... Well, nope. I said it. Yeah, let's go with it. A really smooth tequila, but it's only half full. So they get like 5 or 6 swigs each. And they end the night being rowdy in their room. Tipsy's jumping on the bed, and Waddles is running around on the bed trying not to get, like, playfully not trying to get stomped on. And Tipsy will never, like, he's aiming towards not, this is cute. I've never done this before. So, Tipsy bouncing on the bed like a trampoline, and Waddles running in between his feet. I'm going to roll an animal handling check to make sure that Tipsy doesn't, like, step on Waddles. Okay, very good. So 16 plus Tipsy's 8 animal handling, which he has not rolled for these 11 episodes yet. So 8 plus 16, 24, which is very good. So yeah, he's nimbly jumping around the bed, and you can hear joyful squeaks. And then Waddles is like crawling on the bed and like turning over, like and then scratching his back on the comforter, and it's very stinking cute. And then, oh, this is cool. Yes, I love when stuff happens and I don't expect it. So as this is happening, then Onyx is sitting on his bed, like his world's spinning a little bit, but he's staring at the merriment and joy happening on the other bed. And then Onyx will... This is very, very neat now. Damn, I'm so good. So then Onyx is just like staring hard at Waddles, and Waddles is going back and forth. And then after 10 minutes, then cool. Then after 10 minutes, then Onyx unblinkingly goes, squeak. And then immediately Waddles stops, like squirreling about, and then he, what? What did you say? Which is a very similar voice to Tipsy, but Waddles says, let's see, you? And then Onyx goes, hello. You are a rat. And then Waddles like gets up from lying on his back and then pods over to the edge of the bed and stares. And then Tipsy is still bouncing, and then he stops and goes, what is happening? I am barely very drunk, because it sounded like you... Wait a second. I understood that too. What is happening? And then Onyx goes, your name is Waddles. And then Waddles goes, I need a voice for Waddles, because I wanted to do, because is very like the voiced equivalent is very Tipsy. So that is what he calls me, yes. That's Rock's voice. Oh no, I'm stuck. All right, let's just do this and see if it's absolutely way too silly, or... So he goes, yep, that's my name, Waddles. And then Onyx, and then Tipsy stops jumping, and like the last two bounces, and then he looks at Onyx going, what are you doing? Onyx goes, I can sometimes, and like real concentratedly at Waddles, speak with animals, but it's never really come up, and you like Waddles a lot. Your accent's pretty good. Yep, Onyx. It's great to meet you officially. It's silly. I don't know what this is turning into, but then Tipsy goes, can you do that like all the time? And Onyx goes, it takes me a long time to do it, and I have to really concentrate. Because here's the thing. Onyx has very limited spells, one of which is speak with animals. But Tipsy has... He has... speak with small beasts. Through sounds and gestures, he can communicate simple ideas. So I don't know if speaking with small... But no, it is. So I was going to do like... The sounds aren't spoken language, but no. Tipsy can speak with Waddles. Excuse me. And so Tipsy goes, well, I can do it just all the time, like on a whim, like, hey, Waddles. And then Waddles goes, you know what's even funnier? Okay, instead of the Mickey Mouse joke, which was pretty good, but it was a little cheesy. That's a mouse pun. But I'm going to do this instead. I like this even better. So he goes, yeah, I can talk to Waddles all the time. See, watch. Hey, Waddles.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, so. You're my little guy, huh?
I'm your little guy and you're my little guy.
Well, yeah, I'm big for you, but. Yeah. But I'm little in terms of like other playable races, sure.
Yeah, so, what's up, Onyx?
Yes, that's so good. That's so good. That's Waddle's voice.
Yeah, what's up, Onyx? I just wanted to speak to you. All right. Squeak. See, that's a funny joke. That's a rat pun. That's not really punny. Victor is very tired. I can see that.
That's really cool. I didn't know that you could do that. What else can you do?
This.
And then he does not ask permission because he is chaotic neutral. So he stares at Waddles again. And okay, yeah. Because I was casting it as a ritual. But Speak with Animals lasts 10 minutes. But okay, so spellcasting, there are some things that are instantaneous that like you can use an action which is 6 seconds to make the thing happen. Or there's also ritual, which you can do it but not spend a spell slot, and it takes 10 minutes plus whatever the normal casting time is. So Speak with Animals is normally an action, so 6 seconds, but to cast it as a ritual, which is Onyx's only way that he can cast this spell, then it'll be 10 minutes and 6 seconds. So another 10 minutes and 6 seconds go by, and Onyx is just staring at Waddles, who Speak with Animals is not a concentration spell, so they can still talk. But Onyx is just staring at Waddles, and Waddle goes,
This is a lot of attention, huh?
yeah, he's a very intense guy. Huh, aren't you, Onyx?
Yeah, all right. No, I dig it.
And so then Onyx, like at the 10-minute mark, then Tipsy kind of lays back down on his bed, staring up at the ceiling going, so none of these are like combat spells because it's taking a long time. And then you hear, and then Waddles kind of steps back and like he blinks, and then Onyx blink at the same time, and Onyx blink, and then his eyes are white and pupilless, and then Waddles, he blinks the same time as Onyx does, and then Waddles' eyes are white and pupilless, and then interesting. Okay, so the range of beast sense, which is what this is touch. So would Onyx have to be touching Waddles for 10 minutes and 6 seconds, or at 10 minutes and 5 seconds can Onyx then touch Waddles? That's a very good question. I don't know. Let's just say, for dramatic purposes, that 10 minutes and 5 seconds go by, and Tipsy's like, man, this is day. And then at the last second, then Onyx reaches and then touches Waddles. And then this happens. So, cool. So then Waddles turns around and looks at Tipsy. And then Waddles goes, he's in my head. And Tipsy goes, what? And as Waddle turns his head to look at Tipsy, then Onyx also turns to, like, he turns his head. So they're both, like, moving at the same time. And then the camera snaps to inside the POV, the point of view of Waddles. So you see like the fish eye lens, and he's like, whoa. The camera's moving at the low angle to see Waddles' point of view, and he looks up at Tipsy and then like looks around and looks at Onyx. So it's kind of like a camera's looking at itself like, well, no, not like infinite mirrors, but it's as if you're filming into a mirror. So like the camera turns and the being in the mirror, like their heads turn, and I'm not describing it very well, but Waddles says, interesting, because so for beast sense, you touch a willing beast. For the duration of the spell, you can use your action to see through the beast's eyes and hear what it hears, and continue to do so until you use your action to return to your normal senses. While perceiving through the beast's senses, you gain the benefits of any special senses possessed by that creature. There's a typo on my notes. Though you are blinded and deafened to your own surroundings. So even though they're in the same room, then I don't know how long. So rats have dark vision, 30 feet. The rat has advantage on wisdom checks that rely on smell, but that's nothing out of the ordinary. Let's go back to Onyx's magic. While perceiving through the beast's senses, which is seeing what it sees and hearing what it hears, you gain the benefits of any special senses possessed by that creature. So if the creature had like special magic, then, or like blind sense, which is if like the intellect devour, it had blind sense where it had no eyes, so it just knew where everyone was within 60 feet of it. Kind of like tremor sense also, if you want to, there's like a big bug monster called an onceg, and if its feet are on the ground, then it can sense through tremor sense like the footsteps of creatures within 60 or 30 feet of it. So it's kind of like, it's a weird sensation of Waddles like looking around and then Onyx following Waddles' lead, and Onyx goes,
I can see me.
and then Onyx waves at Waddles, and Waddles is looking, going,
But this is trippy.
and then Onyx, so Onyx, after the ritual casting of Beast Sense, the 10 minutes is up for the duration of Speak with Animals. So he's just hearing. And Tipsy's like, you are full of surprises, Onyx. That's cool. Can you get out of my rat, please? And then Onyx, who heard that through Waddles' ears. That's interesting too. So it's like a whole auditory. It's like listening. Okay, this is cool. I'm so tired. So you're in a room and you can normally hear stuff, but now you have earplugs and headphones in, so you can only hear what is happening in the room from like a cell phone that's on the other end of the room. So that's kind of like, so the radial directional facilities that we have with our pokey outy ears, it's like a whole mismatched thing. So that's all very interesting. So after Onyx like blinks, and then he shakes his head independently from Waddles, who is just and then kind of curls up next to Tipsy, who's sitting crisscross applesauce on the bed now. Tipsy goes, so that only happens with like beasts, right? Like you can't do that to me, huh? And then Onyx goes,
No. Well, are you a beast?
I'm often in beast mode, yes, but no, it's not like the all man are human or animals, you know, not that thing. Like I'm not a beast. I'm a forest gnome rogue.
Okay, then no, I can't do it to you.
Cool. Well, hey, before we go to bed, let me see all that silver that we have in the backpack.
Oh, because also I didn't resolve that. So when they all were getting ready to get up and leave from the table, then Onyx was playing the game again of
Gazer, intellect devourer, 2 silver ingots. Intellect devourer, gazer,
and picking one up and putting one down. And then Toot Toot after a while go, let me carry those for you. I'm considered large, and I have the my carrying capacity is considered that of a large being, whereas we are all medium beings, except you. You are a small being, Tipsy. But yeah, I've never, just give them to me. I will put them in my backpack. I can carry up to 450 pounds. To which Onyx looks up going, you what? Because he's been carrying around half his weight in silver and has been trying to keep it from the 2 tall intellectuals. So, flash forward. So, Toot Toot now has the silver ingots in his backpack. Why did I do that? Because it's very funny. So, Toot Toot has 2. He has his 2. And then he has a third one, which they will all split. And then he has 2 of Onyx's extra ones. Because, if you recall back in episode 5, 6, Kenku Confrontation. Is that right? Laptop, tell me. Yes, Kenku Confrontation, September 8th, 2021. Then Onyx and Tipsy found a crate filled with a bunch of silver ingots, and Tipsy and Onyx have squirreled away. That's the second time I said squirreled in this episode. Have hidden from Rock and Toot Toot more than their fair share of silver ingots. Let's see. Onyx has...
How many silver ingots you got?
Silver bars. He has 6 in his backpack. He lost a silver bar, though. He did lose a silver bar. He was carrying 2, but then the gazer became too much. So he handed it off to Rainier. Where did this other one come from? Oh boy. So Toot Toot has 1 or 2 silver ingots. Anyways, it's a whole thing. So then Onyx drags over his backpack and opens it up, and then you can see inside a whole bunch of stuff, but the 6 silver bars are at the top. And Tipsy goes,
Yes, we are criminal masterminds. You and me split this evenly.
And then Waddles goes,
and Waddles gets, you can't carry any of this money. I'll carry all your money.
And then he looks pointedly at Onyx. So that's my 2 littles who are just staring into the silver bars and fantasizing about the riches therein. And we go over to Rock and Toot Toot, who, much like this first episode, are... Oh, I can mark that off. Of Onyx's... Oh, well, I don't need to mark it off because he doesn't have spell slots. Yes, so back over to Toot Toot and Rock, who, much like the first night that they spent here, both of them are just lying in bed staring up at the ceiling, and you hear, "Oh, it has been quite an adventurous day today, hasn't it?" says Toot Toot. And then Rock, who is lying in bed, but he has a book over his head and is leafing through the same 8 pages over and over, and goes, yes, it has been... He puts a finger as a bookmark and closes the book and looks over at Toot Toot, who's staring up at the ceiling, going, "Thank you again for I know we rescued Floon and Rainier, but thank you for rescuing me also. I know healing spells, I'm sure you, well, I don't want to speak for you, but I know you have other magics that you could possibly be doing, and I don't want you to feel any resentment. I am very appreciative of you healing me, but I am, there's a spell in here that will help me, but I want you to know that I will do better." And then Toot Toot goes, "Yes, I have other spells, and I get what you were saying. I did not venture out to be a cleric or a healer, but I do what is good. So if you and Yagra and Tipsy and Onyx, if anyone needs healing, then I don't want to be selfish with that. I am happy to. But yeah, we'll get you better armor and stuff." Well, that's the thing. I don't like armor. It's too restrictive for some of the grander gestures that magic necessitates. But yeah, we will find something. Yes, we will find our protection. How about that? Protection. Because you, like, I don't mean this accusatorily, but I'm sure you have other magics also that you have not had the opportunity to use yet. And then Rock goes, "Boy, howdy. That is certainly the case. I feel that I am always knocked out before I can do my cool shit." "You have cool shit?" "Yes, I do." "May I?" And then Toot Toot sits up. "May I see some of this cool shit?" And then Rock sits up also excited, and he takes out a proper bookmark because his finger was still in the book, and then puts the book down and goes, "Yes. Let's see. First of all, hey, they're all showing each other magic. That's cool." Rock goes, "Okay, let's see. You Toot Toot, you have a pan flute around your neck." Rock's voice is losing a little bit of its British. "You have a pan flute around your neck." "Yes, I do." "So it is mine now." And then Rock reaches out and then summons using improved minor illusion, summons a pan flute that looks like the one that Toot Toot has around his neck. Now, Toot Toot has around his neck a lilac colored. And as I was editing the podcast, there's a lot of different purple stuff in this game. I'm not going to apologize for it. I was just like, everything's purple because purple's magic and fantasy. So I'll try and come up with... No. If Victor, if it's meant to be purple, then it is purple. That is fine. We can have a very, like, not sepia tone because that's yellows and oranges, but we can have a very purple universe, and there's nothing wrong with that. So, a lilac covered, no, not covered, but a lilac colored pan flute that fits in his hand, and Toot Toot immediately jolts to attention and goes, "But you just..." "Oh," and then he feels underneath his neck to the little choker that has the pan flute, and he touches it and feels the familiar reeds. "Oh, I see what you did there. That's You scared me for a second because that is very important to me. But you summon things." And then Rock turns the pan flute around, and Toot Toot notices that as he does, then on both sides of the pan flute, they're just the normal reeds that are tied together, because as Rock flips it over in his hand, then Toot Toot looks at the back of the pan flute and notices that it is just a regular backing to a pan flute, nothing special. And Toot Toot clocks that because that's important, because on the back of Toot Toot's pan flute is something special. So Toot Toot gets a sense that Rock works with what he can see, and his images that he creates aren't like full intellectual manifestations of like the true objects. It's more the facsimile. It's more what Rock notices, and yeah, it's more observational magic than true magic, I guess, kind of. So Rock goes, well, I enjoy illusions. That is my specialty. School of Magic is illusory, and because I honestly don't love hurting things, and in university, like evocation is so combustive and loud, but so very violent and aberrate. Well, but jeez, dang it! I didn't think I'd go into schools of magic. 5e. I need to come up with a good mnemonic to remember all of the and abjuration, I feel, is very much what you were saying earlier about healing. Like, I don't want to devote my life to protecting things and shielding. And transmutation, that is very interesting. Divination, not so much, but illusory, that I think works at a higher intellectual level. So figuring out solutions that are not violent appeal to me very, very greatly. And Toot Toot nods and goes, Rock, you and I are very similar, because my upbringing focused a lot on violence as well. And from what you were telling me a little bit about what you read in Volo's Guide to Monsters and your own experience, that you have a very loud combustive, a very fiery upbringing as well, of that you do remember. And I didn't want to follow in my herd's footprints, my tribe, so I also did not choose violence. I chose love. And then with this, he puts his hand over his pan flute and goes, yes, love. So I like illusions a lot. Do I have any illusion? No, I'm wiped out. I have no spell slots left. I'm very tired, Rock. I understand. Shall we call it a night? I'm so tired, Rock. Yes. I'm going to lie down. And then he does, and then Rock closes his hands through the pan flute, and the pan flute like coughs away in wisps of lavender smoke, because he cast improved minor illusion as a cantrip. So with this long rest, everyone regains all their health, and I will, as I talk through this next bit, I will wipe clean my I have a dry erase page of all their spell slots and stuff, and health and hit points and they did some pretty big stuff in this past couple episodes. So everyone wakes up. Didn't mean for that to take 45 minutes either, but everyone wakes up and goes downstairs and takes a long rest. Abjuration magic is like, I explained it pretty, like shielding and protecting and stuff. All right, back to my notes. Oh, but Rock, and I don't have to do narrative over this. Rock is going through Grumshar's spellbook. No, okay, I will. So Rock spends the rest of the night. He pretty soon hears toot toot. And then his trunk is going up to do the and the trunk is doing like a little party favor thing up in the air, which is very funny. So Rock then opens up the spell book that he was looking through before, and he's looking through the first couple pages of Grumshar, who is the half-orc apprentice wizard that Tipsy fell in the sewers. And the first couple pages are his backstory, and then he flips a couple more pages and sees the very limited spells that this level 1 apprentice wizard had on him. And he sees Burning Hands, that's very fiery. That is what we were just talking about, me and Toot Toot. Disguise Self, I already know. False Life, that's... And then Rock looks up a little bit, and that's Necromancy. That is not my deal. Unseen Servant, that's very illusory, but I don't think that's illusion. Witch Bolt. Tipsy gave me a thing for Witch Bolt, which is... And then he takes out from his component pouch. The twig struck by lightning, and he looks up. What beautiful timing. And then you, however, I will start learning. I don't have. So for a wizard to learn new magic, then you have to have 2 hours of prep time, which everyone's winding down. So he has that, but you need 50 gold worth of paper and ink. And I do not specifically have that in my inventory, even though he has blank. Let's say he has blank pages in his own spellbook and then Grumshar's spellbook, but he needs like nice magic ink in order to learn a new spell. He needs 50 gold worth of magic ink. And when I get to my shopping episode, then that can be found. But he cannot learn this next one, which is Shield. And I thought of, when I was prepping for this episode today, I can already see the Dean revision that Grumshar could have used Shield to add difficulty, because Shield is a first level abjuration school magic spell, and it is a reaction. So instead of like a normal action or a bonus action, then it's a reaction. An invisible barrier of magical force appears and protects you. Until the start of your next turn, you have a +5 bonus to AC, including against the triggering attack, and you take no damage from magic missile. So Grumshar could have done it, but I have trouble remembering reactions and bonus actions because I have 800 plates spinning at the same time, so I'm not going to beat myself up too badly about this one. I'm giving myself grace and forgiveness and understanding. Peace, love, and understanding. What's that song? Peace, love, and understanding. I don't recall. All right, let's see. Oh, man. So, in the chat, Poppy, thank you so much for subscribing. That means a lot. That's really cool. I have 3 subscribers right now. Also, I'll talk about this more later, but if you subscribe using Amazon, then I think for every month you have to re-up, which I will figure out how to do all that and let everyone know. But thank you for subscribing, Poppy. And then a lot of fun stuff's happening on the chat. But my sister said that I could have done the cookie voice, which would have been very good. It's very much like Tipsy, though. But it's very good. I'll think about it. I'm a little too tired tonight, and I apologize, but hey, an episode that is tired is better than no episode at all. So, where the heck was I? So, shield, peace, love, and understanding. There we go. In the morning, then, yeah, so we'll say, to sum it all up, that Rock needs 50 gold worth of magic ink in order to learn new spells, because he has plenty of pages. So, in the morning, they all go down, they all have breakfast. Durnan, realistically, there will be other people working the yawning portal instead of just Durnan and Bonnie just working 24/7 shifts. They need to sleep. I don't know if my boys don't know if Bonnie lives in one of the rooms or if Durnan does. Durnan probably does, huh? So let's just say a new bartender is tending bar and another employee is going around checking on tables and stuff. So, realistically, yeah, I like it. Because in the game I DM, then Terry, the turtle bartender, is not behind the bar every time my group wakes up. So, yeah. So, here at the beginning of the day, then they all gather at a table. They have some breakfast, which is scones and apple jam, apple butter. Ooh, that's good. Yum, yum, yum. So scones and apple butter and coffee, because Tipsy and Onyx are both Tipsy is sounding like Onyx, whoa, I am very hungover. Well, you drank so much. Yeah. And then Onyx goes, yeah. And then Toot's okay, so I, very secretively to the group, I am going to go and speak with Ban. Anything you all want me to say to him?
Tell him to keep on his...
What's the Onyx, Tipsy?
Tell him to keep on his toes.
Keep on his... that's not the most helpful, but great. And then Rock goes, I thought about this, and he pulls out a piece of paper with some lines drawn on it. Onyx gave me this at the warehouse with the Kenku, and I think this might be a very good way to communicate with Ban so that we're not out in the open risking things. And Tutu goes, oh, yes? I don't remember if Rock told everyone. Rock now tells everyone that this is a paper bird, so you write a message in it and then you fold it up into a little crane and then it takes off and then it goes to peace, love, and understanding. It goes to Paper Bird. 50 words or fewer. Oh, butts. So as Rock goes, because this is the wrench in that. After you write a message of 50 words or fewer on this magic sheet of parchment and speak a creature's name. Oh, Ben can't speak. Whoopsies. The parchment magically folds into a tiny paper bird and flies to the recipient whose name you uttered. Dang. Well, he can kind of... I wonder if that works. Because Ben, his mouth is broken. So he, like, if he holds up the paper and goes, then that might be toot toot. The recipient must be on the same plane of existence as you. Otherwise, the bird turns into ash as it takes flight. 1 hit point. Armor classes. Dexterity. Travels to within 5 feet of its intended recipient to the most direct route, whereupon it turns into a non-magical and inanimate sheet of parchment that can be unfolded only by the intended recipient. If the bird's hit points or speed is reduced to 0, or if it is otherwise immobilized, it turns to ash. So there's no risk of it being intercepted because it can only be opened by toot toot, and then if it does try to be intercepted, then it turns to ash. So that is pretty safe, actually. Paper birds usually come in small flat boxes containing 1d6 plus 3 sheets of the parchment. So they have paper bird. So for shopping, then they might get more paper birds. But Tutu takes and goes, "That's a very good idea. Thank you, Rock. We will try with the speaking. We will see." Man, now I'm regretting that Waddles' voice.
The cookie voice.
Dang, that's very good. All right. This is kind of a wibbly wobbly episode, so yeah. My sister says at 7:27, the cookie voice for Waddles instead of the Mickey Mouse or.
All right.
Because one of our Chihuahuas, his name is Cookie, and he was my doggy. And after a while, then I came up with a voice because Cookie was very expressive, and he would you could tell that he was thinking and like actually processing stuff, and he was very funny also. So
After a while, then I was using a voice to talk like Cookie, and then just go around.
yep, totally, absolutely, 110%. That is Waddle's new voice. So it was Onyx's first time. This was Onyx's first time ever doing speak with animals. So like it was like fine tuning a radio. So it was. Yay! So that's Waddles' real voice. Cool. I was gonna fret about that all week. So but Cookie would just
walk around and be super cute.
And then Sarah, my mom bet Sarah to use the Cookie voice in like a college interview, and then she ended up getting it using the Cookie voice, and Sarah got like $20 from Mom. So that's very good. Yes, great, perfect. Thank you for contributing in the chat and then making that wonderful idea happen. So then Toot Toot takes the paper bird and then heads out because they'll meet Volo so that he can walk them up to the Northward. Oh, okay. I was trying to remember because I was like, why do I keep saying that? My first neighborhood that I lived here in Atlanta in 2016 was called Old Fourth Ward. And after a year living there, then I kept referring to it as Old Fourth Ward.
northward. So, northward, and the Trades Ward. Trades Ward doesn't work as well, but northward definitely works. So, Toot Toot goes, and Volo hasn't come yet. Volo has not arrived yet. So, Toot Toot leaves, and he, like, zips up so that he's not cold, and he steps out into the main thoroughfare, and about 10 minutes, then he sees Ban, like, keeping to, like, across the street, keeping close to the buildings and not really being seen, but also not full on stepping out into the street so he won't get winded. And with this day, then it's a bright day, like, it's pretty clear skies, whereas yesterday it was blustery and very flurries and lots of snow. Not a lot of snow, but a fair amount of snow where you're like, oh, jeez. So then Toot Toot catches Ban's eye, and Ban kind of raises his head up in a sharp nod. Sharp nod, not a shark nod. And then Toot Toot goes over and then kind of leads... Ban leads the way into like a little bit of an alleyway, or like in between two buildings where there's privacy and away from just the sheer openness of the winter. And Toot Toot goes, all right, so Ban, as our informant, can you speak? And then Ban goes, okay, did you say a little bit? Okay, did you say yes? Okay, I'm gonna do most of the talking, but here's a paper bird. Do you know what a paper bird is? Okay, I will take that one as a yes. So, you let us know what is happening. Like, this feels bad, but you are a good guy now. So, be smart about it. Be discreet. We will meet up every once in a while. I don't have necessarily any... Just keep us briefly updated about the goings-on. Not all of the goings-on, but just if something's, like, important, or, like, if something might cause a lot of blood or something. Just let us know whenever we should be on our toes. Like, I don't want to know about all of... Because the Xanathar Guild, you all are bad. Except for you, Ben, who is now good. But I don't want to know about, like, smuggling or worse. I I want you on retainer. Does that make sense? Yes. That one was a yes. So here's a paper bird. I will get you more paper birds. We will occasionally meet. Like, I don't know how to necessarily get in contact with you. That Victor will figure that one out. Don't worry about it. And Tutu goes, and again, I am sorry. You just were hurting us, and I don't like when my friends get hurt. Do you understand? And then Ban goes, yes, okay. Here. And then Toot Toot pays him, brings out 2 gold, and then Ben looks shocked down at this money. And then Toot Toot goes, is this a good amount? And then Ben, like, you hear a very loud exhale of, like, wow. So Toot Toot goes, well, okay, good. So, and this goes without saying, but I'm going to say it so that I know I said it. Like, don't tell anyone about us. Unless there are other potentially good... No, just
Just use your common sense, which you did not use when you were trying too hard to tipsy. Do you understand? Okay. Stay warm. Are they doing anything with your teeth? This is really... I understand you're at a disadvantage right now, but this is a little frustrating. I'm sorry. Yes, we will meet again in a couple days or something, and I will pay you something, and just... Please don't betray us. And then he will roll to see insight into Ban when he says, okay, with a 2 plus 3 insight, so a 5 insight altogether. Then Toot Toot looks up hopefully at Ban when he says, don't betray us. And then it's just cold outside, and Ban's cheeks are really red, and he's more staring just at the gold. And half of his face is Kenny from South Park covered with the bindle for his jaw. So Toot Toot goes, like Toot Toot can't tell if there's any malice in Van's eyes or like reassurance. He doesn't really get that. And so Van takes the 2 gold and goes, oh, you're welcome. Yes, stay warm, stay out of trouble. Don't do anything illegal. I don't want to know about it. Don't write that in your stuff, all right? Just be careful. And if this comes to a head, I don't know you and you don't know me, all right? Okay. Cool. Good. Do you want a scone with apple butter? Oh, right, because I'm sorry. I didn't bring like a to-go cup for coffee or something, so... Bye! And then Toot Toot just walks backwards out of the alley and then turns around and goes into the yawning portal, where then Volo comes in. And Volo... I said anachronistically? What's like when there's a wristwatch in Gladiator? Anachronism? I think I've inaccurately, all of these are fine, said that Volo was a middle-aged man, but I put on a super old voice for him, so he's just getting older throughout the episodes. So Volo's like a 60-year-old man. How about that? D and revision. D and retcon. So Volo comes in, oh, good morning. And he's doing surprisingly well for having drunk all day yesterday. And then, did I say how much everyone paid for breakfast? This is the part of D&D I don't like. Coming up with prices and stuff of like simple things. 8 copper each. No. Yeah, $8 for scones and... Yeah, so 8 nibs each, which is what these are called. So in Waterdeep, they have different currency than everywhere else. So nib, and this is a really cool page if you get a chance to look at Waterdeep currency. I don't have the best picture of it right here. Well, this is, I have a black and white printer instead of color, but this is colored and it's really cool. So nibs are copper, shard is silver, dragon is gold, sun is platinum, and then there are other 2 ones which dramatic irony y'all won't know yet. So Volo comes up, everyone pays 8 copper, which is $8, for coffee and juice and scones and apple butter, and there we go. So Volo goes, let's go, lo, YOLO, Volo. So they get out of the yawning portal and they look around, and
Yesterday, again, was really blustery. So today, and I do want to figure out what day and what month this is, because D&D has a whole different calendar. Y'all, I'm sorry that it's so, like, I keep looking down and it's the red square of, like, nope, Victor, your picture's shit. So I'll figure that out, but not right now because I'm so tired. So they leave the yawning portal, and it's not a blustery day, but they look around, and Volo starts trudging northward, and they look around because now they have, like, a guide. They did have a guide in Rainier, but the dock ward, which they are in now, is a lot different. Well, are they? They're kind of in the trades ward too. It's kind of hard to tell. Or the castle ward? I think they are in the castle ward right now, but they were in the dark ward, and the southern ward. The old Og's shop and the Skewer Dragon in the sewers, that was all south. So they are in a better district, and they're looking around, and then southeast they see a sight, and then as Volo's walking north, then he stops because they're not following him, and he turns around and sees all 4 of my boys staring up at this 9-story tall figure, a statue with a sword and a shield, which, again, I read a lot this past week, so this was stuff you should know about Waterdeep, and I didn't read it until week 11. So this is, excuse me. Ooh, I'll talk all about this in a second, but all right. And then so Volo goes, "Oh, that's the first time you've seen him, huh?" And then he waddles to my 4 boys staring up, mouths agape, and this is a male warrior. Volo says, "This is one of the walking statues of Waterdeep. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 walking statues, and there's a whole history behind them. But this one is named the Honorable Knight." And as he's talking about this, then you see the camera, like, cut from them at the street level, and then is doing the very video game, like, if you solve all of the radars in Spider-Man, then as soon as you figure out the last one, then the camera, like, turns around and, like, drones upwards and, like, spirals over to see the district. But now the camera is spiraling up this 9-story tall thing. "Honorable Knight is a statue of a male warrior in plate armor with a shield and longsword. When the walking statues stopped, it bowed to those opposing it, straightened, sheathed its sword, and doffed its shield, setting it point down on the ground and upright by its side. It then ceased motion in this position, facing southwest towards the harbor." So they're getting really its profile right now. "Towards the harbor, and looking for all the world like a castle guard standing at ease. The pose it assumed leading to its name, and it is viewed with respect by the citizens of the southerly wards." And Tutu goes, "That is amazing. It's mind-boggling that we didn't see it yesterday." But it was blistery yesterday, and Victor didn't know about it in the last episode. So
That is the Honorable Knight. And Volo goes, "Oh, well, if you like that one, there's plenty more to see. Let us go." And so then they walk north. They take the same snail street that... Oh, I wanted to show you all the poster map again. So, thank you, Jason Engel. But this is the poster map. Da, 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 da. This is Waterdeep. And then here's the other half. Da, da, da. Y'all are seeing the DM side, which is some locations are marked on it that characters, like player characters, aren't really supposed to know about. So those are secrets. But I also, since I mark up the campaign book and I'm marking up the poster map, I am writing out here in what you can't see. Like I'm circling the little individual buildings that we visit. So I have the Yawning Portal, I have the Convex Crimson, the Kenku Warehouse, the Sewer Entrance, Old Og's Shop, and the Skewered Dragon. And then the Peabodys down in the Southern Ward. So, yeah. So they're taking the same snail street that they took to get from the exit of the sewers to the Yawning Portal, so they're going up. And then they... Let's see. What's the best way to do this? They take the high road, which is an actual road. They'll take the road, and we'll take the... As they're walking, then... Would they be able to see some of this stuff? So... They take the high road and then keep going north, and then they see another of the walking statues to the left, and Volo says, I should bookmark this. Nope. As they're walking north, they look to the left, and then... Ah, yes, the Hawkman. This statue looked like a winged, hawk-headed being, and thus locals call it the Hawkman. I can... whoa, this is great, because this is written by Volo, what I'm reading off of, and I'll talk about that near the end of the episode. But I can reveal that, in fact, it bears much resemblance to an Aarakocra, one of the bird people said to live in the Star Mounts. In the high forest, the statue's wings are folded tightly against its back and have never unfurled, leaving its flight capability uncertain. It was brought low during its rampage across the city, and now it tilts decidedly toward the northeast due to a missing right foot, long ago broken up for building rubble along with its right arm. Its left arm is extended out toward the north, palm forward, as if in a gesture to say, stop. The body has been hollowed out and turned into a tower shared by several wealthy tenants, which is officially known as Sparunt Tower after its owner. The statue's left hand extends over a courtyard to the north, wherein lies the entrance of a tunnel carved through the arm. Visitors and residents can ring a bell in the courtyard, whereupon a door guard acknowledges the ringer and lowers a rope ladder for tenants and expected guests, or a rope chair that is drawn up for guests who are infirm or laden with heavy items. And they're walking through, they're going more north and watching the Hawkman. The Hawkman! I am the Hawkman. Toward the left, and then as they keep going north, then the Hawkman goes behind them. So Tipsy goes, What are these?
Well, a very long story short,
These giant beings came to our need during times of intense peril, and the 8 of them scattered throughout the city are beacons of hope
and stability, and letting a gargantuan reminder that we are protected.
And Tipsy goes, whoa, have you ever seen the move?
I was not here the last time they moved, which was quite a while ago.
Oh, well. Sorry, hold on.
More than 100 years ago, 6 of them came. Before that, another thing happened, but the last one came about 13 years ago, and that was the Griffin.
And
thankfully, all the walking statues have been dormant for well over a decade now, serving only as beautiful cyclopean reminders of Waterdeep's might.
And so they go up. And as they're going, then Volo is like sharing, like, oh, over there, that shop is, and then blah, blah, blah. And they're going up the high road, past another one called the Great Drunkard, which I will share. Whoa, something happened. I will talk about later, but I want to do other stuff first. So they go to the northward, and they go to an alley. Well, no, so they're using the high road to get north, and then they turn right on Del Zorn Street, and then, oh, there's actually another map. There's so many maps now. Oh boy. So, Del Zorn Street, and then they're using the south entrance to go up, and then through like this alleyway, and when they first enter into the alleyway, then they see a very San Francisco, the wharf, wooden arch above the alleyway that says Troll Skull Alley. And in between the words Troll Skull and Alley is a troll skull, which I picture is very much the Skyrim troll skulls that you encounter, which is this like oblong, ovular kind of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, Indiana Jones 4, egg-shaped skull with 3 eyes, and it's even though, yeah. And it's just big and, like, it's put up against the wooden arch. And even though they fought a troll in the first one, as they're walking underneath it, then Onyx looks up and goes,
I like that a lot.
And then he's picturing the troll skull that is burnt to a crisp from the troll that they fought and got thrown over the well into the deep, deep, deep yawning portal in the middle of the yawning portal. So it's like,
Oh, could have another one.
and then they go up, and then they see this 4-story tall building at the corner to their right, and it has like a turret, and Volo with a flourish turns around and goes,
This, my friends, is called Troll Skull Manor, and it is yours. With that deed, if you would like, let me, and then he fumbles in his pocket for some keys, let me open this up so we can look inside and see if it is worth your wares.
and he pulls out a ring of like 6 long iron keys, and he goes to the door and fiddles around. Which one is? Oh, there we go. Open. And so then it opens, and then he goes inside, and there is a map, which I have color coded, but this is the Troll Skull Manor and Tavern, because when they go in the first floor, then they see this giant, this open, voluminous tap room with a bar right in front of them and tables around, but the place is very dusty and full of cobwebs and stuff, and the tables and chairs are not in great condition, and the chairs are all stacked up, wooden chairs, and they it's really dusty. It's musky. It smells of stagnation in here, and they go inside, and Tipsy's like, we're gonna live in a tavern? We're gonna be in a bar? And then Tutu goes, oh no, under his breath. And Tipsy zooms around and like goes into all the corners and behind the bar, and like he pokes his head up and like from underneath the bar, and he goes, oh, wow, and he has like cobwebs in his hair and stuff, and he's going around, and Rock goes, now you were saying that this is ours? That's incredibly generous from Volothamp. And Volo goes, oh, well, you have done me a great service, and unfortunately this building has not lived up to expectations. It's one of the grandest edifices here in the Northern Ward, which is a very lucrative area to be in, if I don't say so. So why don't you keep it? Oh, well, it is burning a hole in my pocket, as it were. I don't... Again, I bought this place because I thought I'm writing a book, Volo's Guide to Spirits and Specters, and this place was reported to be haunted, but I've spent an evening here and nothing remarkable happened, and I have other things to tend to, and an adventuring party like yourselves need a headquarters, and this... Honestly, the buyback was just not very good. And, because I don't know about real estate, so sure, why not? And so they look around, they explore the first floor, which has a kitchen and a pantry, and then a hatch to a basement, which has a wine cellar and an ale cellar, which, there's an actual section about this, so... you hear, okay, let's see. Broken furniture, tarnished silverware, so you hear Tipsy open the hatch to the basement, and then he goes downstairs, and then a loud gasp. And then you hear the wine is turning to vinegar. And worthless detritus. And as they explore all the other rooms, so they go up to the second floor. So there's not many casks downstairs in the basement, and the ones that were there are now spoiled, and the flattest beer ever, and it's just not even worth drinking. Where like you drink 3 glasses of it and you're like, this tastes so much worse than the little tiny buzz I'm getting, which that's never happened to me before. So the second floor, then they have a den and a common room and a hall and a bedroom and a spare room, and they have like this turret thing and some balconies, which they're all exploring. And then third floor, they have a bedroom, a private bath, a privy, which I think is just like bathrooms, I guess. I'll look up what a privy is. Library and study, to where Rock goes in and he sees these shelves all around, but there's like 7 books altogether, and they're dusty volumes of like how to tend to a garden, and this is a very important thing that I need to get right. So he looks around and like how to tend to a garden, and it's in the middle of winter. And then another one that is the lusty Aragonian maid, which is another great Skyrim reference. And library study, and Rock goes, oh, look at all the space for books. And then another private bath and another privy and a master bedroom. And then they go upstairs to the 4th floor, where there's also a turret. Is that like a tower? I think so. I don't know. Turret peak. And then there is an attic bedroom and then attic storage. And they explore it. And the tavern's other rooms are all empty except for cobwebs, dust, and harmless rats. And then as Volo is leading everyone through the doors, then like some rats skitter around, and Tipsy is not with the pack that is touring around, and Toot Toot and Rock and Onyx are behind them, and Onyx isn't impressed, but Toot Toot and Rock realize the value of this place. And Rock goes, This is quite remarkable. Thank you, Volo. Let's talk about it to see if everyone wants to be here. And then Volo, who is sitting in one of the nicer chairs, which means that it has 3 out of the 4 legs. This one is the only one in the whole building that has a cushion on it, and it has the 4 chairs because I don't want him to topple over. So he's just kind of just humming to himself in like the den area, as the 4 boys are talking about whether they want to keep this building. And Toot Toot goes, well, I vote yes, because we need some time to figure out how we all got here. The mystery of the fireballs is still prevalent, and we have been kind of spread thin by doing Volo's mission yesterday, and I think this would be a good place to gather and concentrate. And I adore the yawning portal, but this seems like it's already paid for. So I don't know about your coffers, but I think this is well worth it. And then Rock goes, I agree. All of that is great. Plus the library and study. It was gorgeous. And then Tipsy goes, well, and then he looks behind him at the bar, and then he looks up going, this is the best possible situation. And then he looks back at the bar again. I love it so much. And then they all 3 stare at Onyx, who is kind of dragging his toe through the tip of his boot through the dust and grime on the floor. And then he looks up at the 3 of them staring at him, and he goes, yeah, it's fine. And then Rock goes, excellent. I will inform Volo. I will inform Volothamp. So he turns around, Volothamp, we gladly accept. Thank you. And then Volo gets up from the chair. Excellent. It is almost high sun, so that was perfect for this next bit, where we have to make it official. And then he goes outside, and the boys follow him to the castle ward, so back south, because that's where like the magistrates and the government buildings are. Is that right? Yes. So they go past it all. And they see a couple other of the tall statues, the walking statues. But Volo's looking at his pocket watch going, oh, well, we need to hurry. Let us go. And so then Volo takes them to like a magistrate's office. And then he goes, we are just a little bit late, but that is fine. And then he goes into one of the official government-looking buildings, and he goes, yes, I have a high sun meeting with Kylan Silmerhelf. And then someone at a desk goes, all right, yeah, we'll go through. And so they wait like 20 minutes sitting in wooden benches out in the foyer, and then they are led to like this courtroom, and sitting at a high podium is this tiefling woman who has like yellow skin and ram's horns that curl in on themselves and do little spinny bits. And she looks up with pupilless white eyes, and she goes, "You're late." And then Volo goes, my fault, I apologize. We are here to hand over the deed of Trollskull Manor to these fine young boys who just arrived. And then she looks, without looking, it's kind of that weird, like, is she looking at me? Without seeing the pupils. She looks up at Volo and then at my boys, and she goes, all right, paperwork. And so then Volo, and then goes up and hands over the paperwork, and she looks through it and sees that it's notarized, and she goes, to the ownership of, Toot Toot. Last name? Nope, no last name, just Toot Toot. Okay. Or maybe Toot Toot does have a last name. I haven't figured that out yet. So, then, Rock the Purple. Are you a magic user?
Well, yes, I am. I am a wizard.
And you said, are you registered yet?
Registered for what?
And then Volo goes, oh, I forgot. Everything has just been such in a hurry lately that,
yes, I was about to explain that to them, but as arcane magic users, you need to register with the Watchful Order of
Magisters and something or others.
The Watchful Order of Magics and Protectors.
Then Rock goes, okay, I have not been able to do that yet, but I will. And then the tiefling magistrate nods her head, and then she goes, all right, next. And then Tipsy goes, Tipsy bottle opener.
Oh.
Okay, she writes that down, and then
Onyx.
And I haven't figured out if Onyx has a last name yet, but I should figure all that out, huh? So she signs. She's spending like 5 minutes bustling through papers, and she's a little impatient because he was late. They were all late, and just paperwork is dumb and boring. So she flips through all that, and it's kind of like just an awkward silence, and my boys stare over at Volo, who's like kind of shifting his weight forward and backward. It's just like a quiet meditation, and he's smiling old man to himself. He's very much like Dumbledore almost, where he was written as like someone who would just hum to himself as he's bumbling around. And she goes, all right, everything seems like in order. The payment. And then Volo looks over at the boys. And then Rock, who's taking point. I apologize. Payment? Yes, you need 25 gold pieces in order to transfer ownership, and normally it's paid by the new owners. And then Toot Toot looks poignantly at Volo, and then you see, because it's Volo, and then kind of like 10 feet of space, and then Toot Toot, Rock, Onyx, and Tipsy. And then you see Toot Toot look poignantly at Volo, and then from the just breadth of Toot Toot, then you see Tipsy like swing his head backwards and staring daggers at Volo. And then Volo goes, oh, I that part seemed to have slipped my mind as well. And then Toot Toot goes, we are essentially getting a whole house for 25 gold. I think that is a very reasonable price. It's more than generous. Thank you, Volo. And then Tipsy's like, and then my 4 boys cough up whatever 25 gold divided by 4 is, which future Victor will do that math. Current Victor has 10 minutes left. So they, Kylan accepts the gold and takes like some stamps and then like writes some more things on some more papers, and it's not thrilling ordeal. But they finish the transaction. She hands over the paperwork to Rock, who goes up to accepts it, and then she goes, make sure that you or anyone else in the party who's an arcane magic user registers. And then since you do have property, if you're planning on staying here for a while, then you need to register with the city watch also. Yes. Because there's, I did a bunch of reading, and so there's the city guard and then the city watch. City watch watches the wall, and then city guard, no, god damn it. City guard watches the wall and then watches. Take 3. City guard watches the wall, and then the city watch watches all. Which was a fun little mnemonic from Volothamp. So then they exit, and then in the same government building, then they can easily find someone to register the magic users. And I don't think that's money, but the person who accepts them is an elf with round glasses. No. A dwarf. A bald dwarf with these round spectacles and seemingly no lower jaw. And they go up to register the magic users, and he goes,
okay, great. So, yes, you need to register with the magic users, because in a time of need, we will call upon you to protect the city, or this is the best way to keep all the lawful order.
And then they sign up. Rock signs up as a wizard. Toot Toot signs up as a bard. And Tipsy, who technically arcane trickster rogue subclass, signs up too. And then Rock goes, I don't really have magic. And then,
okay, that's fine. Yes, so, and then we will come and talk to you about more things later. And then, since you are new here, then have you thought of guilds and factions as well?
And then just my 4 boys exasperatedly look over at Volo, who, and then he gives an innocent little shrug. And then No, we are brand new here. This is our beginning of the second full day. So the fact that we have a building to ourselves, and we are registered magic users, that is quite enough. But what are guilds and factions?
Well, guilds and factions are every person who is a professional needs to be registered with a guild, and then factions are more morally based.
Well, I think this is enough for just today, and then we will sift through all that information later. And then the magic dwarf goes,
That's completely understandable. Come back if you have any questions. My name is Bernard.
and then Rock goes, Thank you, Bernard. And then he looks over at Volothamp coldly. Can we go now, Volothamp? And Volothamp goes,
Oh, yes, we are now free to our own devices.
And as they leave, then Volothamp goes, I have other stuff to do. I don't want to weigh you down. But here, and then he reaches into his leather satchel and pulls out even more papers. And this is like a pretty thick manuscript where it's bound together by those metal bobby guys with the little heads, and then you poke them through the holes, and then you put the metal claspings on the back or whatever. So he hands you this, and then and the very front page is like a different colored parchment. No, okay. So it's the manuscript, and then a page on top of the manuscript that's not connected is this piece of parchment that's a different color, and it has some poorly drawn squares on it. And he goes, These are your neighbors, and who I think have the most value around you, and they will be fun to meet. And then also here, and then he flips to the title page of the manuscript, and it says, This is Volo's Waterdeep Enchiridion, a visitor's guide to the city's splendors by Volotham Geram, under the generous patronage of the Lords Melshimber, published by Tim Waterdeep Limited in association with the Fellowship of Innkeepers and the Fellowship of Carters and Coachmen. I, Volotham Geram, verily attest to the veracity of the words printed herein. Quotation marks, Set your course by truth, and you shall never be lost, no matter how far you wander. End quotation marks. I coined this well-worn adage myself years ago, and it has served me well in all my travels. Footnote, at the bottom, footnote, consider any, and then these words I have no idea what the part they are. Consider any antinomy, jacketation, mendacity, obloquy, pasquinade, parapraxis, traducement, or similar found in this document to be corrigendum. Address all claims of such to Abracade Fellswap, Solicitor 17 Mulgomere's Way, Castle Ward, Waterdeep. And what it is this much, so that's 163 to 188, so 25 pages of, I'll go through it really quickly because we're at the end here, but entering Waterdeep, your arrival in the city, a long history in brief, and there's a couple pages of that, and then the cold legal, so this is very much like a traveler's guide, and it reads as such, and there were moments in it where I was like, all right, come on.
And there were moments in it where I was like, oh, I want to go to the, oh, it's fiction. But, like, it explains the code legal a little bit, and the coins, that's where my coins are. So these are the beautiful coins. Which, there's not a great way for me to put it out there, but beautiful coins. And Volo goes, this was some information that now you have. But it talks about the City Watch and City Guard and the watchful order of magics and protectors that they needed to sign up with, and then coinage, taxes, and fees. And then how to travel around. Literally, this is like how to deal with nobles and guilds and law, and like guilds and guilds law, and then the wards of Waterdeep. So the Sea Ward, the North Ward, Castle Ward, Trades Ward, Southern Ward, Dock Ward, City of the Dead, and then the unofficial wards, so Field Ward, Undercliff, Undermountain, which again is all on the poster map by Jason Engel. It's just so much. The walking statues it talks about, and I'll read some of the highlights in the next episode. But and like holidays, there's 5 pages of holidays, so it's really incredible. But it'll answer a lot of the things that I just kind of had to shove at them since they went in a government building. But now, my boys are the proud owners of Troll Skull Manor. And with that, thank you so much for listening and watching. I am Victor Rivera. This was D&Me, where I play Dungeons & Dragons by myself. I was very tired tonight. I stream Wednesday nights on Twitch at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will put this video up on Thursday mornings. So, today's show will be up tomorrow, Thursday, October 14th, and next week's episode will be live Wednesday, October 20th. And follow me on all my... Oh, I did that wrong. But Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you can find me at DnMeAdventures, N like gnome. And then I put this new, how am I doing that? Okay, so that is the link tree. So linktr.ee/DnMeAdventures, N like gnome. So thank you very much. And then as we close out tonight, I will roll for who gives tonight's outro. So, last episode was Toot Toot. So, Tipsy is 1, Onyx is 2, Rock is 3, Tipsy's 4, Onyx is 5, Rock is 6. 3! 1, 2, 3. So, Rock. Thank you so much for watching. I have a lot to read now, which is exciting, which Victor already read this past week. But so I have that to read, and I have a librarian study now. I call dibs on that room. That would be my room. Well, if they need to come in to use a book or something, we'll figure it out. Yay, thank you, good night.